Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Ava suspects Wendy's pregnant and prepared to wed Tripp's China choice. Days of Our Lives uncovers that Jada Tracker enjoyed Christmas in bed with Rafe Hernandez and conceded his place previously felt like home. Rafe affirmed that his mother brightened the house with Gabby Hernandez de Mera, which prompted a discussion about missing his sister. Gabby ordinarily made Christmas tamales, yet Rafe had assumed control over the practice this year and wanted to convey some to her at Statesville. Despite the fact that Jada thought Rafe was a decent sibling, Rafe didn't feel he could procure that title until he figured out who truly brought down Li Shin. Jada played a question-and-answer contest with Rafe to divert him and afterward tested his tamales before they fell once more into bed together. On Wednesday's episode of Days, Jada admitted that she had never felt this way about anyone before, not even her ex. This was something more profound and more grounded, so Rafe was satisfied since he felt the same way. In the recreation area, Tripp Johnson sat on a seat with Wendy Shin, who was torn since she would have rather not left her life in Salem. However, she likewise felt a feeling of responsibility to her folks in China. Despite the fact that Tripp childishly believed Wendy should remain, he promised to help her choice come what may. While Tripp was off getting hot cocoa, Melinda Trask, Tina Huang, went along and joined Wendy on the seat. Things were tense from the get-go, yet Melinda figured out how to persuade Wendy that she genuinely came to think often about Lee. Melinda likewise wished she'd been not so much aggressive, but rather more open to cherish all through her life. After Melinda ran through a lot of praises about Wendy, she demanded she was a decent appointed authority of character. Wendy acknowledged the commendations and contemplated whether she could get some counsel. Wendy eventually admitted that she was torn between love and duty to her parents as a result. Melinda thought that Wendy's parents were putting a lot of pressure on her because she was their only remaining child. Even though Wendy moved to the United States to escape her parents' demands and expectations, she admitted that now they wanted her to return to China. Melinda contemplated whether that is what Wendy needed, yet Tripp hindered with the hot cocoa before Wendy could reply. Behind the bistro on Harris, Michaels asked who was disapproving of the store while Ava Vitale and Stefan de Mera were outside. Ava proposed the staff took care of it while they dealt with the shipment outside. When Stefan took a couple of flour sacks with pills inside, Harris gave Ava his jacket to keep her warm and pushed for reality. Harris demanded there must be another justification for why Ava was driving him away. After Harris inquired as to whether Ava was enamored with Stefan, she demanded she wasn't. Notwithstanding, Ava thought briefly and immediately inclined toward Harris's bogus presumption as a decent main story. Ava lied that she was actually seeing Stefan, but she said that it hadn't reached the point of love yet. Ava apologized for lying and stated that Harris was a good man after she mentioned how Stefan reminded her so much of Jake de Mera. Harris in the long run took his jacket back and appeared to be harmed, however Ava guaranteed him that she'd esteemed the recollections they made and hoped everything would turn out great for him. Afterward, Harris cornered Stefan alone and cautioned him not to screw with Ava since she'd adequately experienced. Stefan was confounded as Harris demanded that Ava had come clean with him. Harris referenced Stefan having a spouse in jail and proposed that Gabby's circumstance was halfway Stefan's issue, so he didn't need Ava hauled into his theatrics. She went back to Ava on the episode of Days and met Tripp and Wendy before their Christmas dinner together. Wendy had a few updates to share, so Tripp said he trusted Ava comprehended the reason why they needed to do this. Ava inquired as to whether they were getting hitched and rushed to make the judgment call that Wendy may be pregnant, however Wendy guaranteed Ava that she wasn't. By the by, Ava was nearly as stunned when Wendy conceded she was moving to China and Tripp uncovered that he was moving with her. At home on Wednesday's DOL show, Tate Dark made the way for Holly Jonas and was paralyzed over her genuine conciliatory sentiment. Holly recapped how she got squandered and at last understood her crush on Johnny de Mera had been silly. Presently Holly wished she'd paid attention to Tate sooner. Holly likewise realized that she mistreated Tate, so she was heartbroken about their bungled date and for not seeing common decency before her. In spite of the fact that Holly said she wouldn't allow her another opportunity on the off chance that she were Tate, he conceded he got her a birthday and Christmas combo present. Tate had destroyed it after their battle, however he got it out from underneath the wastebasket and gave it over. It was a first release of Pride and Bias since Holly cherished Jane Austen. Holly thought it was great and illuminated over Tate's care. When Holly became more valiant about requesting that additional opportunity and second chance date, Tate recommended going to the bistro's New Year's Eve party together. Days of Our Lives say Tate and Holly's additional opportunity date will end in fiasco. Ava and Stefan scramble, Rafe stresses, Wendy gauges choices, Holly's conciliatory sentiment. Days of Our Lives show that Ava Vitale and Stefan DiMera will scramble to cover their tracks. Harris Michaels is there needing replies. Galen Gering's Rafe Hernandez is concerned about Gabby DiMera now that she has been harmed in prison. Wendy Shin will examine her choices with Melinda Trask. Holly Jonas will apologize to Tate Dark. Days of Our Lives reveals that Harris Michaels almost captures Stefan DiMera and Ava Vitale just as Stefan and Ava are looking over Clyde Weston's merchandise. Harris has recently gotten a tip sending him to the bistro. Obviously, Harris could never associate Ava with doing anything like this after all that she has experienced since coming to Salem. Harris stands up to them in the backstreet and asks what they are doing. Ava and Stefan will need to come up with a quick story because Harris has shown up at the wrong time before they both get caught. Since Gabby has already been harmed by this, the last thing these two want is for them to make the same mistake again and see what form of retribution Clyde takes this time. DOL Rafe Hernandez is worried for Gabby DiMera. Rafe realizes that his sister didn't have a mishap at Statesville. Rafe vowed to get Gabby out of jail when she was captured. In any case, Rafe hadn't seen as any sort of proof to defend Gabby. Rafe is panicked that something will happen to Gabby before he can come through for her. Is there anything he can do to help? Obviously, Rafe isn't the only one, so he has somebody around to divert him. Jada Tracker will be around to help Rafe and perhaps conceptualize ways of aiding Gabby out. DOL Ava and Stefan scramble, Rafe stresses, Wendy gauges choices, Holly's statement of regret. Might Rafe and Jada at any point conceptualize to think of a method for liberating Gabby? Will Jada attempt to take Rafe's brain off his inconveniences and invest some quality energy with him? Days of Our Lives Wendy Shin gauges her choices. Wendy is conflicted between her folks and Trip Johnson. Wendy loves living in Salem and she cherishes Trip. Wendy absolutely adores her new position at the Salem Police Department. In any case, Wendy is spooky by the way that she found her sibling cut on her lounge floor and finds it hard residing in the condo where he was found. Melinda will help Blustery track down a choice. Holly has understood that the owes Tate a conciliatory sentiment. He was very upset when Holly treated him badly on their date the other day. Tate was willing to do whatever Holly wanted because he had his father's credit card. Will Tate excuse Holly for all that she has said and done? Might Holly and Tate at any point be companions once more? About Ava's frantic untruth. Days of Our Lives spoilers recommend Ava Vitale is having an exceptionally tough time concealing her medication conspire before Harris Michaels. She even knows that she will be caught at some point. Continue perusing underneath for all that you really want to be aware. Days of Our Lives about Ava's frantic untruth. Addressing drama condensation in another meeting, entertainer Tamara Braun, who is most popular for her job as Ava on the Peacock Cleanser, says that her personality certainly feels like she's in a difficult situation. She's been trying to change her life and walk the straight and narrow, and Clyde has dragged her back into a life she wanted to leave behind, Tamara says. She needs to tell Harris, yet she is stressed over Trip. She can't take a chance with it, and thusly she's in a horrendous position. Days of Our Lives bother that Harris then, at that point, gives Ava a present that he says he purchased before they headed out in a different direction. While this is certainly a tough time for Ava, Tamara says she'd prefer fall in bed with him and proceed with their relationship. But if she wants Trip to be safe, that can't happen.